I just got back from Gen Con. It was huge and awesome and totally overwhelming, and I want to tell you all about it. I overheard someone saying that there were 85,000 people at the convention center in Indianapolis for Gen Con. I don't know if that number is true or not, but it sure felt like there was that many people all crammed together for a weekend full of gaming. It was crowded and hot, but everybody was excited to be there and play games and buy games and go to panels and listen to people talk about games and meet other people that are playing and making games. Just walking around felt overwhelming, but because everybody was there for the same reason, it also sort of felt like you were amongst a bunch of friends. I struck up multiple conversations while just waiting in line with total strangers, and it really did feel like everyone was just there to have fun and make new friends. I spent most of my Gen Con walking around the exhibitor hall, checking out all of the crazy booth setups with people selling all kinds of stuff. Mostly I was interested in the tabletop role-playing games. Of course, I wanted to pick up a bunch of the stuff I was really excited about. Hunt was a new book from Gila RPGs, and the Stockholm Cartel had a new book at Free League, and I got the Dragonbane box set. Funny that the two new things I was excited about were these orange books. But honestly, the most fun was just walking around and seeing all the stuff that I've never heard of before. The Indie Game Developers Network and the Indie Press Revolution booths were these huge, 100-foot-long tables filled with zines and books. Tons and tons of new stuff to discover there. And I stumbled upon this crazy game called Outcast Silver Raiders. The production value is off the charts on this box set. I found multiple Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle inspired RPGs, and there was even a booth all about gaming paper, specifically for drawing maps for your RPG games. I had to pick up a pad of white and blue grid paper just to support them because I thought that was so cool. Of course, there's also tons of board games, mostly board games. There's one called Freelancers that looked really cool, and everything at the Oink Games booth seemed really, really awesome to me. Just by walking around, I could tell that a lot of people were really excited about the new Disney card game, and there were tons of people selling custom dice and accessories, and there was tons of artists and illustrators displaying their work. I could just go on and on about all the cool stuff I got to see. I'll definitely do a video kind of taking a look at some of the fun stuff that I purchased at the convention once I can dive in. I spent a ton of money, so much money. The only thing I really regret about my trip is that I didn't have much time to actually play games. I went on this trip fully intending to learn how to play Dragonbane, and I really wanted to play a game of Beak, Feather, and Bone in person, but there was so much going on, there really wasn't time, and it felt weird, looking around at all these tables, seeing everybody playing, and not joining in the fun myself. I think I really would have loved to have run a game myself, just sit down with a few strangers, go on an adventure, and walk away with a fun story and a bunch of new friends. Next year, I'm definitely going to go longer, stay the whole time, and make sure I play some games. Honestly, it's been a while since I've played games in person, and this was the best opportunity to do it, and I regret missing out. But that does not mean that I had any shortage of socializing and meeting new people. The real highlight of a show like this, of going to a gaming convention, is getting to see your friends, meet friends that you've never met before, and just talk with other creative people. I was only there for 2 days, and I got to meet so many cool, awesome, creative people. I ran into Tyler Crumrine from Possible World Gamings, and he was so nice and welcoming. He treated me like I was an old friend and even hooked me up with a prototype of his new game called Bad, Bad, Bad. I met Diogo Nogueira, the creator of Primal Quest. I'll put a link down to that game in the description. Definitely go check it out. Awesome, awesome game. And we joined up and literally walked around for hours looking at games, talking. He told me all about how he got started in RPGs with Dungeon Crawl Classics and all about his life in Brazil and his plans plans for Primal Quest. I got to have these 2 awesome interactions just because I went up and said hello to someone. And honestly, if these were the only 2 interactions I had the entire Gen Con, I would have considered the show a success. But I got to meet and talk with so many more people. I spent a lot of time with my friend Kyle Latino from MapCrow and Kenny from Cloud Curio. They had an awesome booth full with all of their amazing stuff. We went out to dinner and talked about video games and new projects. I'm so excited about their Monstrous book that's coming to Kickstarter soon. It's seriously going to be the coolest monster book ever, and I'm going to be talking about it a lot more in the future, so stay tuned for that. Seriously, those 2 dudes and Amber from Cloud Curio are the most inspiring people ever. I also got to meet a bunch of other YouTubers. It feels weird calling myself that, but here we are. I met Jordan and Lex and Baron from Dungeon Masterpiece and Professor DM from Dungeon Craft. Kelsey from the Arcane Library is so great, and I met Chris McDowell, the creator of Into the Odd and Electric Bastion Land. I got to give them all my zines and have amazing conversations with each and every one of them. And I just think it's so special to be able to walk up to someone you've never met before or someone you've only had like a passing interaction with on social media, say hello, start talking about games, what they're excited about, what they're working on, and all of a sudden you're having a really meaningful conversation with someone that you're going to call friend from now on. In fact, I even had a few people come up to me and introduce themselves, which is a totally new experience for me and so lovely. I got to see a few of the cool games they're working on and stuff that they're drawing. It's always nice to hear that I've inspired someone to draw a map or make something for their own game. It's just a really special experience. I don't quite know how to explain it other than to say that it really means a lot to me. All right, so one thing is I wish I was more confident in filming the experience of Gen Con. It still feels really weird to point a camera at a stranger and film them, and talking on camera in the middle of a crowd with all the noise just seems like totally out of the question to me. What I'm trying to say is that I would have loved to have been able to show you more of the experience instead of just me gushing about it. But hopefully you can tell, you can feel how awesome of a time it was to go to Gen Con, this huge gaming convention. And honestly, I'm just coming out of this weekend feeling so inspired and grateful to be a part, to feel included in such a cool community of people making and playing awesome games. So yeah, Gen Con was really just so amazing. If you have the opportunity to go to a local or nearby gaming convention, definitely check it out. And if you're able to make the trip out to Gen Con next year, I would love to say hello and have a conversation about games with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!